Hello and welcome to Up the Villa podcast. If you're new, please subscribe, hit the like button and drop in your score predictions for Chelsea away. For me, I think Chelsea are going to win the league this season. I called it in my preview predictions that we did a couple of weeks ago. They look very, very strong. I think Tuchel is a brilliant coach and, he came in, won the Champions League and he's already got the foundations of a brilliant squad there anyway. But the addition of Lukaku, when I saw Chelsea against Arsenal, literally, he just run that kid ragged at the back. And it was just, I felt so sorry for that centre-back. But I feel like Chelsea are going to be very strong this season. Brilliant that we've got Simon on. He's literally travelling up and down the country watching any type of football. So dread to think what his bank balance is looking like. And he's now Mings' bestie. So what's it been like, Simon, watching Villa and England recently?
Yeah, do you know what? It's been good to be back, isn't it? I think following Villa up and down the country, you can't beat it. And I think during the 18 months that we didn't have it, it was tough, wasn't it? And so to get the Villa back, and then obviously following England and stuff, like I was at Wembley the other night, it's just great. It's really nice to be back. And to be honest, I'm not trying to get too stressed about it at the moment. I'm just enjoying the moment.
And what have you made of Villa's first 3 games then?
It's been indifferent, hasn't it? Really, I think there's been some positive signs, along with some not so positive signs. I think we've come to realisation that we're probably in a little bit of a transitional season. Obviously, with Grealish going, losing our talisman, and then bringing in new players. I think it's going to be a little bit of a transitional season. I think the fans have got to try and understand that. Obviously, the injuries haven't helped, and the COVID outbreak with a couple of the players hasn't helped either. And so it's been a tough start, and I think the international break came at exactly the right time. But yeah, look, I think we'll be okay. I think we'll have a decent season. I think we'll grow into it as it goes along. But it's just gonna take time. But I think you give it a sort of, so far you sort of give it a 6 out of 10 at the moment, and you hope for better. Although looking at the fixtures we've got, that might be tough in the next 3 to 4 games. But keep the faith as ever.
Yeah, so I went to Villa Park the other day to the club shop to have a look in there. Less we said about that, the better. But there was a TV crew there, banged up abroad. Anyone can save Martinez and Buendia. What was going on the other night in that game was an absolute joke. What an art. Justin, did you manage to see any of that game?
Yeah, I did. I caught a bit of it, to be honest. I turned on just after they stormed the pitch to drag the players off. So it was the most bizarre thing to watch. I don't think I've ever seen anything like it, to be honest. It's just a mess, isn't it, this international break? We hope, like Simon says, I agree with him. I hate international breaks, but this time I hoped it would come at a good time for us to get players fit. And then we had the Emmy, do they, don't they go? It seems that Villa have allowed them to go. I think Tottenham are very seething about their players going. I don't think they were too happy with them going. I can see it from the players' point of view, especially Martinez has just become Argentina number 1. He wants to represent his country, doesn't he? But I think he has to understand, which I think he does now, that it's very difficult to get around the world at the moment, isn't it? So I think Villa have probably been a bit naive from what I've been reading, that they didn't even realise the travel restrictions into Brazil. So that's a bit of a mess. And now they've got to come back to Croatia, I believe, to train for a few days before they can get back to England in time for the Everton game. So it's a real mess. Buendia didn't even get on the bench for either of the games. So, him going at all has been a bit of a disaster for him. And then Martinez, I don't know. It's a mess, isn't it? The sooner they're all back and back at Bodimore Heath and fit and firing, the better for all of us, really. The good news is that Mings got a yellow, didn't he, the other day? So he's on his way back to Villa, so he should have a few extra days training with the lads. But yeah, I'll be glad when they're all back now. We can just concentrate back on the league again.
Yeah, and I just hope that the injuries that we have got, some of them are back. Obviously, we record these a little bit earlier than Dean Smith does his press conference, so we never really know what the squad's going to shape up to be. But hopefully the break has come at the right time, and some of the players that were sort of on the cusp of making the match day squad are going to be in there as well. So, Ryan, you did a little bit of a piece coming out, an opposition preview. So what's your vibe on Chelsea?
Stating the obvious, it's going to be a tough game, isn't it? Massive challenge for the Villa. Like you, Luke, they're my favourites to win the title. I'd most certainly want them or United to win the title over City, who are now selling tickets on voucher just to fill the stadium. So that's shocking. That is absolutely shocking. But back to Chelsea, yeah, the signing of Lukaku could completely transform them. Just like Watkins did for us, really. Our game totally come together when we introduced him to the squad, and Lukaku gives Chelsea that foil. He sets the tone from up top. He gets Kai Havertz into the game. He's a dangerous player. I think he'll be really good this season. So we've got to watch him. And they're tough to break down. They really are. You know, they went 45 minutes at Anfield with 10 men. So that tells you everything. They didn't concede in the first two. That they've won the Super Cup already. So they're on a high. The squad's on a high. So, yeah, we're in for a tough game. There's rumours Lukaku's got a bit of a knock. Havertz has got a knock. James is suspended. Kante is touch and go as well. So, you know, they're crippled with injuries as well. They've got lots of players all over the world as well on international duty. So it could be a good time to catch them. For us, I'm feeling a bit of a mix-up in formation. I'm feeling we go 3 at the back. Possibly 5 at the back with Target and Cash as the wing-backs and go 2 up top. I just think that will just give us a bit more defensive solidity, protect Steer a bit more, and if we can get Watkins and Ings up top, you know, them 2 are grafters and they're going to run the channels and work all day for you. So he's done it before, do you know? He's changed formation for big games like that one on New Year's Day, the Burnley game, the Watford game. He did it twice at the Carabao Cup against Leicester. So feel like he might just mix it up. That's just my opinion. But yeah, and I've seen PGR put a nice little stat out today that they concede, I think it was 14 shots they've conceded from set pieces, Chelsea. I think they was in the top 6 in the league or something. So, McPhee, you're up. Work your magic, mate. Let's get some routines going and see if we can punish them that way.
Yeah, McPhee's got to be on it. So we are going to go to thoughts and questions. And there are quite a lot of questions regarding the formation. So we'll all discuss that in a minute. Nigel B6 has put nothing to lose game for us. Chance to go toe-to-toe with one of the title favourites in their backyard, a chance for us to cause an upset. What's not to like? Come on, Villa. Hoppo has put, interested to see how you boys are going to put a positive spin on this game. We haven't got a first choice keeper and our highest priced player. That's before we play, in my opinion, a team who will be champions at the end of the season. And then let's just go to some of these 5 at the back ones. So Stephen Jimson has put, as we are playing away to one of the best teams in the league on Saturday, and there's rumours of Smith's going to mix his formation up, could we go 3-5-2 on Saturday? Simon?
Yeah, I can see why people are saying it, but see, I mean, personally, I don't like it. I never have done. I don't know. I always feel like it's a formation that you try and then you have it for a few games and then you have to revert back to your 4 at the back. I don't know. I'm not too sure. I get the reasoning for it. I get you get Ings and Watkins in the same team and it shores things up a little bit. But I don't know. I just never think we're that comfortable with it. Saying that, I think he will change. He will change it because he's got to change it. He'll either go with the 5 at the back. Or I think he'll bring Nakamba in alongside Louise and McGinn in the centre of the park just to shore it up a little bit. But yeah, look, it's a tough game. As someone said, we have nothing to lose, sort of thing, and so you want to see us go for it. I think Watkins needs to come back in definitely, and we need to go for it. However, you've also got to be careful though because they're a really good side, and the one thing we don't want is to go to Stamford Bridge on Saturday and get absolutely pummeled, and then obviously we've got Man United, Chelsea in the Cup, Spurs all coming up, and Everton coming up, and so the games don't get any easier, and so we've got to be a little bit careful with it. But it's going to be a tough game, but let's just see what happens.
I think one thing that me and Justin have spoke about off air is that we feel like Villa should now be starting to put levels of performances where we don't see those capitulations anymore and those unsurprising Watford performances. I think the backing that the squad's had, we've got to start not seeing those. Justin, again, do you want to add anything?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, the interesting in the first two comments. One was, a positive slant on it, got nothing to lose, let's go for it. And the second one was, how are you going to put a positive slant on going to Chelsea? At the end of the day, it's a game of football, isn't it? And we're in it, and we've got some really good players. I do like the 5-3-2 for this game. I really do. I mean, we don't know what the team's looking like. We don't know what the injury suspensions are looking like, but I think we can have a reasonable guess at who's going to be available and who's not. And I think given the players I think that are going to be available, I mean, Ramsey's out the under-21 game tonight because of COVID again, so he's probably going to be missing. So that's another midfielder down. So I think if you did go through at the back, we've got the centre-halves to play that, we've got the wing-backs to play it, and we've got probably, like you say, Nakamba and Louise can sit with McGinn just in front, who's got the energy, and you can basically use McGinn, Watkins and Ings as your foils really up front to just let them have a go at them really, while you're keeping hopefully the back door closed. And if Lukaku is missing, if Havertz is missing, if they've got one or two missing, we can go there and have a go at them. I'm not saying park the bus, but we've got to be very realistic. They are one of the best sides in the country now, and I don't want to go there and get done 7-8, which we have done in the past under previous managers and regimes. I want to go there and have a really, really solid plan of what we're going to do and put it together on the day as well. It's important we go out. We've got set piece coach now, so we can hopefully exploit that area of the game. We've got a coach who probably hasn't had long to work with them attacking wise, but when you've got the quality of a Watkins and an Ings up front who both literally run their arses off the whole 90 minutes, then exploit it, use them, get the ball up to them, use McGinn's energy as well. 3 high energy players there. So if we can keep the game at 0-0 as long as possible, utilise set pieces and utilise those 3 going forward, I think, who knows? I'm going to go there with a positive mindset. I'm not saying we're going to go there and win, but why not go there and have a good go at them?
More thoughts on that front too is because of the wingers that we're missing potentially.
Exactly, yeah.
Bailey and Traore, we don't know their fitness. We won't find that out till Dean Smith's press conference. Plus, we're missing Buendia as well, so we are lacking our 3 top wingers as well. So it's not an ideal game for like an El Ghazi. He's had a decent start to the season, but those are the kind of games he's not going to get much ball. He's going to be stuck out wide. He's going to be, then we'll have the old moaning at him, I've just done nothing. So play to our strengths. I think that's the thing on Saturday.
So a great stat from John Townley about Ollie Watkins. It is Ollie Watkins applied more pressures in the final third than any other player across Europe's top 5 leagues last season. Mental.
So you get him in the team, don't you? Exactly.
He has to be in that team. Simon, Watkins straight back in, surely.
Yeah, he's got to. I think you saw the difference when he came on in the latter stage of the Brentford game. It just brought us up a notch in terms of our energy levels, and we look more like scoring. I think he's so vital to how we play. I think if you took Grealish away from last season, he was our most important player, Ollie Watkins. He totally changed how we play. And while I like Danny Ings, I think he's a really good sign and a really good player. Watkins is just different, and I think, as you say, he's got to come straight back in. Where he comes back in, I'm not too sure. Obviously, if it's the 5 at the back, he'll come in as a 2 alongside Ings. If it's the 4-3-3 again, you'd expect him either out wide or you might expect Ings behind Watkins. But either way, Watkins has to come straight back in. He's so key for us, and hopefully we can keep him fit and he'll have a really good season because. I do think we signed an absolute gem in him. I really do. I mean, I know we paid good money for him, but it seems a snip if you can get you 15 plus goals a season alongside Danny Ings, who scores that amount of goals as well. Then, we've got a really potent strike force there. So it'll be interesting to see how Smith uses him alongside Ings really this season. I think that's something that we're not quite sure of yet. But it's quite evident that both of them will be playing. I don't think either of them will. We'll sort of be playing backup. So, it'll be interesting to see. But, he comes straight back in for me. Yeah, definitely.
I think that 3-5-2 is the most natural way to play and get them both in the team. A 4-3-3 or anything like that, like you say, you're going to chuck one of them out wide. And Smith's already come out and said that Watkins won't be playing out wide.
I think to be honest, I think you'll see personally, but as the season goes by, once we have Bailey, Buendia, etc. fit, I wouldn't be surprised to see like Danny Ings in a sort of like number 10 role. To be honest with you, maybe behind Watkins. I wouldn't be too surprised about that. I think that's what the plan is going forward. But yeah, I see what you're saying, and I think if you played the two up top in a 3-5-2, it could work. But I think going further down the line, I do think you'll see Ings in a number 10.
So Jan has put on Twitter, thoughts on Chukwuemeka. Is he going to be in contention for a permanent spot this season? I mean, you've probably seen him a bit more than us. You went to some the Carabao Cup game, Simon. What are your thoughts on Chukwuemeka?
I think he's a really top talent. I think he's got a lot of potential, and I think he'll turn into a really, really good footballer. I think the thing is, he's so comfortable, isn't he? He's so comfortable on the ball. He can drive at teams, which is quite rare for midfielders these days as well. He's a bit raw, and I think he showed in the Brentford game. He took a little bit too long on the ball at times, and I think you got to get used to that physicality. But that comes with game time, and so I said last season when he broke through at the end of last season, and he came on against Spurs and Chelsea. I said, I think he'll be in and around the side by Christmas time. And I mean, it's happened already due to injuries and stuff. But I think he's a really bright talent. I think we've just got to use him carefully. He's only 17, and so you don't want to throw him in and start every game sort of thing. And I think we've got the squad to be able to do that though. Now we've got the squad to be able to rotate a little bit, and so I'm hoping he'll play a big part. And I think looking at him, I think for me, I don't like to go too overboard about the academy graduates, but I think looking at our production line over the last few years, I think he's the most brightest talent to come out since Grealish, to be honest with you. And obviously, totally different players, but I'm just talking about in terms of potential. And I've been watching him for the under-23s for a while, and he just looks different. He's got that physicality about him as well, and so I'm really excited about him.
Yeah, he's really excited to see how he develops and where he's at come the end of the season as well. It's pretty exciting for all of us. So we'll end this one here then. We'll go around and do our score predictions. I'm gonna go 1-1. I just can't say we're gonna lose just yet. Justin?
Breaking from tradition massively here, and I hope I'm wrong, but a 2-1 loss.
I don't think you've ever called a loss before, Justin.
No.
First one. Changed, man. You've changed.
You have.
I'm just trying to be realistic.
Because the sun's got to you today.
Simon, what are you saying?
I'm like you, Luke. I can't predict a Villa defeat at the moment. I'm too positive still about the new season starting. So I'll go for a 2-2. I think it could be high scoring without Martinez in goal and with a bit of disjointedness. I think we could concede goals, but I think we can always score goals. So I'll go with a 2-2.
And Ryan?
Massive point, 0-0. That's what I'm going for.
But I can't see 0-0.
Sitting on the fence.
If we do manage to win, I'm gonna predict we lose every week.
I can't believe you've said it though, Justin.
Sorry, lads. I'm just being realistic. I'll quantify that with I think we've got a chance to get a result. That doesn't mean I think we're going to get there and get battered. I think we're good enough to get there and try and get something, but I just think they're going to have too much for us.
Brilliant. So we'll end it there. So thanks everyone for watching, and we'll be back after the game for reaction. Up the Villa.
Up the Villa.
Up the Villa.